So this was posted in a Facebook group I'm part of, and it just, it encompasses something that I've seen in other places. So I decided, hey, let me actually read this as I was making a different meme that I'll get to later on. But let me read this for you first. I'm going to put it on the screen as well. This is by Natalia Kelly. I'm going to do a voice. I think I'm going to do a voice. Let's see. I mean, I'm like Natalia. I'm thinking it's a kind of Russian thing. I'm just going to go with some kind of Valley Girl type thing. Anyway. Y'all would rather reopen the country and kill millions instead of like demanding a debt/rent freeze and temporary UBI until we're in the clear? Y'all simping so hard for capitalism. You're protesting to let your nana, peepaw, and all your compromised friends die so you can return to your shitty middle management corporate job like some beta cuck for the oligarchs. Little dick energy. So, the main thing I got from this is she's clearly saying that she has a big dick. I mean, there's nothing else she could be saying here, right? No, okay, so joke aside, there are some things in there that just made me think of some other things, and I decided to make this meme that I'll put on the screen right now. And it's using that image from the South Park episode where Randy Marsh, he's going online, he has some issue with masturbation, he just jizzes all over the computer and everywhere, his pants down, he's just giving a load out. And on the top, this is what I wrote. People, stop demanding to go back to work. You are just being a pawn to make money for the oligarchs. And then the same people when the richest man in the world, Bill Gates, simply speaks while Jeff Bezos continues to make billions from Amazon, then that Stan March picture. And this is what's going on. Some people seem to think that we are all peons. This is something we do. We have these double standards, but they think we are all peons. Everybody else but me is a peon. I have access to this special information that you don't. I am this messianic figure that has this I am the vicar of facts, of reality. I am tapped into this other knowledge that you and your other people are just below it. So when it comes to my beliefs, I have my gods that reinforce that. This is not something new. This whole thing of my God does this, it's okay. Your God does that, it's bad. Or you're following this because you've been led astray by some false God. This is just current year theology. This is how it continues. So now this is an appeal to authority sort of thing where people kind of get a boost out of somebody saying something positive. You see this on the political left and the political right in both cases. And this whole pandemic situation has spun some things around where you're seeing people who were traditionally coming from one side where it's acting in a certain way. Like this whole idea of looking at the elites, looking at the people up top and saying, stop following these people due to these apparent things that they're gaining off of it. That has been something from the political right saying, oh, Hollywood and all these other elites are just using you as tools and pawns. And then the inverse now I think is people on the political left mostly who come out and say, oh, these people on the political right are coming out and they're just being used by the oligarchs and things like this. So before I continue that train of thought, I want to just touch something here on authority. If there's another God that you don't believe in and that God says something, you don't listen to that God and be like, oh, I have to actually pay attention. This God, I'm in the bad graces of this God. You don't look at a politician or a celebrity or someone that says something that you don't agree with. You don't mean say, okay, no, this person acts in something I don't care of. They're a musician that I don't listen to this music. They don't really mean much to me. You don't go to other countries and listen to those celebrities and be like, oh, what do they say about my country? You find the rich people, you find the people in your life that say things that agree with what you say, and you get a boost out of them. So one thing I'm wondering about Natalia here is why does she think she is in a position to actually shame people by calling them simps? And a simp is somebody who is sympathetic to somebody they find attractive and does it in a pathetic kind of Weasley way to worship and try to prop them up. But why does she think that has any effect? Now, maybe she could be in a group where there's people who normally agree with her and then they're disagreeing with her in this topic, so she feels she has some sway over this. But I think it comes more from a general admission that people realize we live in a gynocentric society, and as a somewhat attractive young female, you don't have to be that attractive. Just be a youngish female, and in general, you will have people in society who want to be in your good graces for various reasons that developed in the way that we evolved and the psychology that was built through that time. Because without actually admitting that, why else would she think she's in a position to actually make these demands or be important enough to anyone for us to actually think that her opinion on this is worthwhile. Like, oh, we want to be in the good graces. You have spoken on this. You are some sort of authority on this. Well, it kind of goes along with the argumentum ad populum thing that some of these people, think, oh, celebrity endorsements. Celebrities are worthwhile. Listen to what the celebrities say. And based on that, for some people, there is an actual appeal for actually agreeing with something, going along with something, and benefiting, profiting by being looked as having the right sort of thoughts by the right sort of people. But I don't think Natalia has established herself as that right sort of person to be able to make certain demands, whether it is about my sense of feeling like I'm simping or anything else, or in the other hand, demanding that she get a universal basic income. Because I'd like to think that this is some kind of realization that it's not just staying home, it's staying home and still being able to profit by getting an income. But I don't think that's it, because people deny this. People deny that aspect of life. They find other excuses and ways around admitting this. Because with this whole in the clear thing, millions of lies, with what evidence? When are you going to say we're in the clear? But one of the things that would be positive here is to first of all admit that people do things for profit. But there are some people who want to deny that profit is an actual motive for people to do things. But realize profit is not simply monetary. It's not simply financial. Financial and monetary profit are simple ways to profit that do lead to many other things. Most people don't get this money just to have a Scrooge McDuck type of situation where they just hoard this money and swim around in it. They have other goals and plans that they want to put this money towards. Some of them, like Bill Gates, may have some issues with concerns about there being overpopulation. Someone like Jeff Bezos has actual, is it Bezos or Bezos? What do you say? I think it's Bezos. Bezos. Anyway, he has this one plan that I thought was pretty cool. I listened to some documentary about him, and he apparently has gone also into space, just like Elon Musk, and he's thinking about, oh, we need to actually go become extrasolar. That is something that I personally find to be something rather admirable, and I'm like, yeah, give the guy some money. I might disagree with some of the ways he's going about this. I think I disagree with some of the things that he does personally, and some of the things that some of his institutions and companies do, like the Washington Post. There's a lot of that I just disagree with. But just to pretend that there is actually no interest, that only people on this other side who don't hold things that I find to be positive are the ones who are misleading people, but I am not misled by these things. That's a false stance to take. I think people should be more aware and acknowledge that people do things in different interests, and people do have clashing interests. And Bill Gates might have certain investments. There might be certain people invested in things staying closed. There may be people invested in things opening in a certain way. There may be people invested in just things just completely opening up. There are some people who are invested in not your best actual health. There are some people who are more invested in your health, but don't have a way to communicate that. Anyway, so that's it for now. This is I think it's part of the meme whisperer. I did the meme whisperer thing for a while, and I was like, I did a couple of memes with that. I think I did one meme with, there was one I think I remember where I was talking about a meme talking about Africa being hollowed out, the brain drain and type of things. But I'm not here saying Bill Gates has malicious, nefarious ideas. Just things that I disagree with. There was one thing I disagreed with him in the past. He was talking about they need more cheap mosquito nets in Africa in order to prevent malaria, and that was instead of investing in these balloons that would spread internet signal around. I'm like, no, give people the information, the access to the information, and they will decide to invest in steps to prevent the spread of malaria, to combat mosquitoes, whether it's nets, whether it's reducing the amount of standing water, whether it's having different anti-malarial drugs and other steps and things like this. But it's something we can disagree on. I mean, he is very capable and has achieved a lot in a certain field. You don't become the wealthiest man in the world for no reason. There's a lot of things that he's done well, but that doesn't necessarily transfer over to every single thing that he says. So even though I disagree with some of the things Natalia said, there is one thing in there that I think we can all agree on. This is part of, I think it's something that I was going to use in the Shorty series, but we can disagree on a lot on how to open up, what's going to happen, who started this. One thing we can agree on is this whole situation has been a trial run for universal basic income. And I have a separate video about that. I'll leave a link to it. Check that out and see my whole issues with it. But anyway, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, thanks for coming, and do subscribe before you leave. Like if you did like this content, dislike if you disliked it. You've already decided to come here and support the oligarchs of YouTube if they've actually let this video get through some sort of algorithm, or you can be watching this on BitChute. And if you want to help me directly in an independent creator, there's also PayPal for one-time donations. And even through PayPal, you're still helping some kind of oligarch. We are all peons to these oligarchs, no matter what we say and think. But hey, some of them actually have earned this. I think most of them have earned this. I mean, most of them aren't putting a gun to our head, unlike certain states out there. Till next time, goodbye.